All right, so this next video is going to be of me just going through the steps of how you would actually complete the drawing for this week, those 2 drawings that you guys are going to do. So the minimum size that I'm looking for here would be 4 inches by 5 for your format. So what I would recommend you do, you know, look at your photo, that sort of thing, get a really interesting composition. You want your drawing, like we had said before, to be off center as you're working on it. And yeah, just measure out your format. So the first thing you're going to draw is a square or a rectangle for your actual format there. Observe it in life. You can look at your photo as well. And as you go, figure out where the ground and the wall actually meet. So you're going to end up making a line. You may, with this line, not actually keep the full line there. So just figure out where the line is in relation to your object, okay? So a modified contour line. The main thing with that, to let you guys know, is that when you're looking at this still life, you're going to be looking at this still life when you're drawing this, I would say at least 90% of the time, and you're going to be looking at your paper just to double check your lines about 10% of the time. You're going to find a spot, it can be the stem, it can be the body of this thing, and you're going to start making your lines. And the main thing that I would tell you to do whenever you take a photograph of your drawing, take a photograph of your drawing in the perspective, in the angle that you're going to be drawing it from life as you work, so it actually matches what you do. As you draw, you're not going to create really heavy lines, and all you're doing really is you are creating, and you can kind of see I'm not going back and forth. You're not creating sketchy lines. You're not going like this. You're going like this as you're creating your lines. So one thing that I think I'd tell my folks as they work on this thing is just pretend like your pencil is almost like drawn to your piece of paper like a magnet, and you're working to try not to pick up your pencil. You can as you work, but the problem a lot of times when you choose to pick up your pencil, you end up getting lost as you work. So you can go back, like in some of the darker areas of your drawing, like if you have a shaded area, you can go back and make those lines a little bit thicker in some of maybe the corner areas that are kind of darker and shaded, if you want to do something like that. But in general, you're going to have your pencil placed on your surface there as you go. It's a very slow and meticulous process. You're probably going to go slower than me. I've drawn this thing several times, and as you could probably see, I've marked some little areas, so of course I'm going to go faster than what you would be doing. So you can kind of map out some of the darker areas. There's some little darker areas here as you go. All right, so that's a basic contour, modified contour type line. What I am doing now is I'm looking at the darks and the light values right here. Sometimes even on when you take a photo, sometimes it helps too when you're trying to determine the value shape. If you take it and you change the contrast, you could even make it black and white. There's different things you can do just with that, just to help you out. The value mapping that you guys are doing, it can be extremely light as you're working, because what's going to happen, and I'll kind of show you this a little bit later on. Your value mapping is going to determine like the thickness and the thinness of your cross contour line. So these lines right here that y'all are making, they'll eventually be erased. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So just know, I mean, they're important obviously, but they're just to serve a purpose for just a little bit. Okay, and then you might, you know, have like a cast shadow or something that may hit here. Usually they come around right here and go back there. So you could value map where your cast shadow is as you work too. Okay, so this, oh, and I forgot to do this here. Okay, so my value map on my stem, I have like a heavier cast shadow here. Okay, so this right here, this is for this week. This is great. I would do my pair after this, just like this. So the next week, one thing I want you to see is where I did, you can kind of see this shape right here, this value map shape. And you can see I added extra lines. My lines are rather thick. In that you can faintly see that little area of that shape right there. I'm gonna move this over here so you can kind of see it. It matches for the most part on here. So, but hopefully that helps you guys out to just see what I'm truly looking for this week. The main thing to tell you is imperfection on fruit and stuff like that is what makes it really interesting. If your fruit or your vegetables or whatever it is that you're drawing is a little bit off tilt, off center, like my apple was, it just sort of like landed like that. It just sort of set like that. That's what makes it fun. If you take a little bite out of your apple or whatever it is that you want to do with it, or if you slice it, I mean, I think that would be okay too. So you can leave it as this, or whatever you want to do with it. The main thing is just to represent what you see in life and to draw the proportions as you see it. So I'll be grading this based on your photo, and the main thing is just make sure your photo is clear so that I can see what you're doing and all that kind of good stuff. So if y'all have any questions or anything like that, or if you need to email me works in progress, please do that. I would love to see that, love to help you with that, and I hope y'all have a great day.